So, folks, it's official. Pooh Shiesty has been denied a bond and he will be staying in jail while we work out this whole madness with the alleged kidnapping of Gucci Mane. So I've got some new updates for you guys. Let's get into it straight away, and I'm going to dig a little bit further into Big 30's backstory in this video as well, because he was granted a bond. His role in this situation might not be as serious as we thought, or it might not be as easy to prove than we thought. But basically, this is the latest update. Pooh's out. Pooh's in. Big 30's out. And it's looking pretty bad for Pooh Shiesty still. So let's hear this update from outside the court. And the FBI are basically saying that the allegations that they're making are true.
We're outside federal court here in downtown Dallas for an update on the case that involves the rapper known as Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Jr. After about a 1-hour probable cause hearing in federal court in downtown Dallas, he has been ordered held. The judge deciding that, yes, there is probable cause that he was involved in the crimes that have been alleged by the FBI. His defense attorneys argued the FBI does not have the guns they mentioned. They do not have the jewelry that they mentioned that was allegedly stolen. They do not have the contract that they say that he was forcing the other rapper known as Gucci Mane to sign to get Pooh Shiesty, the other rapper, out of his contract. But the judge said the evidence is heavy that he was involved in this, that he does have a lengthy criminal history, including gun violations before. So at this point, Lontrell Williams Jr. is being ordered held in federal custody pending his next court date. We'll have other updates throughout the day.
So he's being held in federal custody pending his next court date. Now, Big 30 initially got a bond, but they're now saying that this was actually denied after the court stepped in. So apparently he was initially granted his bond. He was due to be let out. But yeah, I didn't know this until now. He was basically ordered to be kept in custody despite the judge actually granting him house arrest. This is apparently a federal judge in Texas that basically overruled the initial judge ruling when he got a $100,000 bond and said he has to stay behind bars and be extradited to Dallas while prosecutors attempt to revoke his bond. The prosecution has until April 13th to file its argument as to why 30 should be kept in custody, and his attorneys have a week to respond to the motion. Now, Pooh Shiesty's lawyer would hold a press conference and give a full update as to where the case stands and what kind of defense he's going to be going with.
Bond hearing today and a PC hearing today. I think that the relevant things that were said today that I thought were fascinating were that it took 3 months to build a case, and I think the reason for that was because the statements that were given on the evening that this occurred were very questionable. I think the way that the statements were made, what allegedly was witnessed and what wasn't witnessed, I think gave great pause to the FBI. The FBI doesn't take 3 months to arrest someone if they believe everything that was said on the night that it occurred. They were involved the first night, and then nothing happened for 3 months. In addition to that I thought was quite embarrassing, was that an FBI agent says they don't have the resources to keep their eye on an individual. This is allegedly an individual that committed a crime that they then didn't watch to see if the guns were present, if the jewelry was present. And what didn't we hear today? What we didn't hear today is there is no contract, this mystery contract. They have no contract. They have no video of this alleged signing of a contract. They have no guns. They have no jewelry. They have none of that physical evidence. What they have is they have allegedly 5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client and many more. I'm going to take like 1 or 2 questions and then we're going to scoot.
So he just said Gucci Mane snitching, all right? He just said it straight up.
5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client and many more. I'm going to take like 1 or 2 questions and then we're going to scoot.
You're essentially arguing they've got only a he said kind of case, no evidence.
Correct. Yeah, it's very fair. I think that this is a he said type of case. I mean, obviously, there's 5 individuals on one side. What we're missing are the other people that were present in the room, right? The owner of the studio who says he didn't hear anything or see anything. The way they leave the studio, where no one is in concert with anybody else, no one's arguing with anyone else. One of the individuals says, "Hey, can I get my watches back?" Like, the story is quite unusual, and I think that the FBI knew that. I think the investigators knew that it was unusual, and I think that's why it took so long to make the arrest.
What is your response to the judge saying that, your client still violated the terms of his ankle monitor location?
Sure, those are all things that are going to be, flushed out. The fact is that he was allowed to be in certain areas at certain times. That really wasn't an argument for today. I wasn't really even going to make that argument. My main thrust of today was to really push on the evidence and see exactly what they had and when they had. How about this? How about the individual who wrote the complaint, who actually drafted the complaint, who was sitting in the courtroom, who's only been an FBI agent for 4 years, does not take the stand. They put someone else on to say what she wrote in her own complaint when she's sitting in the courtroom. And that's done quite often in gamesmanship because they don't want to put a rookie on the stand and be measured by our legal team.
How far away is this from trial?
Oh, who knows? We're going to get discovery. We'll take a look at their discovery. They're going to say it's ongoing. I mean, think about it. They had 3 months to get this stuff. They had 3 months to get warrants. They didn't get warrants that night. They didn't get warrants the next night. They didn't get warrants the next month. They didn't get warrants the month after. They waited 3 months to get warrants on whether or not there's guns, whether or not there's jewelry. How about their cell phones? How about the computers? That gives me great pause when I see a case that takes that long to get warrants, if you believe everything that was said on the evening that it occurs.
So the feds might have actually screwed up big time by not bringing this case sooner, okay? They said a well-known person is telling on his client, that's Gucci Mane. Remember this about lawyers, they'll take the case if the bag is right, even if they know you're going to lose. They're saying this boy could sell water to a fish. The FBI will spend years building a case on someone, and he's really up there talking about 3 months. That's a good point. The ankle monitor is a big problem, and this lawyer's going to drag it on for all the money all day. Mane said they're going to scoot. Definitely the right lawyer for Shiesty. Basically said Gucci cooperating. He should have got this lawyer from the start instead of doing this, right? So he didn't use names, but he did call out Gucci for allegedly being a snitch, and he would even touch on that issue once again as time went on.
Listen, I don't like when the government puts initials in and everyone takes a guess who they are. We all know who they are, right? I'm not going to say it's this person or that person. That's not my job to do. But certainly there have been media posts of individuals that we suspect were involved in that evening where they're denying that it occurred or they're denying that they're giving statements to the government. I think that's unusual as well because of what the government put forward today seems to negate those statements, but we'll have to see how this all shakes out. Listen.
So, yeah, we'll have to see how it all shakes out. Now, one beef that Big 30 has had in the past that relates to this whole situation is with Moneybagg Yo. Now, in a past No Jumper interview, Big 30 would admit that just talking about his beef that he's got could lead to somebody dying. And I'm going to explain to you why this is very complicated and how Moneybagg Yo is tied to this situation in a second.
Do you think he really got liposuction to lose weight?
On some G shit, though, I really feel like y'all playing with me because I really been said, fuck this shit. We can't go to the next question.
All right, we can move on. I just like, you had some funny bars in the whole thing that I just kind of wonder if it was serious or not.
Shit back up.
Nah.
I ain't on that.
Nah, we f with Moneybagg
too. We ain't talking about that right now, bro.
All right. No liposuction. Got it.
I said, fuck this shit 5 minutes ago. Fuck. Bullshit.
All right.
I'm just saying, though, now.
No, I don't want to disrespect you at all.
Now I'm saying, say for instance, now what if somebody get hurt? What if somebody die? If I ain't respond to y'all how y'all want me to and the motherfucker die, and the motherfucker go to jail the rest of their life and somebody dead, you will be satisfied? You just gonna laugh at us on another interview, talk about us to another nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, just fuck this shit, bro. This shit dead. Let's just move on.
Okay, for sure. No, we don't want to. If it's serious like that, then we definitely ain't trying to antagonize shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not even that serious. That shit.
Okay. I feel like we got enough of an answer for the people who are curious about it anyway, you know? Because your fans, they obviously are very...
I've been telling my fans, fuck this shit on shit. If it was something, I'd be still going at it.
So he's saying the beef with Moneybagg Yo is so intense that somebody might die if he even responds to it. Now, I've always found it very ridiculous that rappers want us to talk about, oh, it's Adam's fault if somebody dies because he brought up the topic. Meanwhile, you in songs dissing the dude nonstop. But anyway, that's a load of nonsense. But clearly, the beef between Big 30, Chopper Gang, Pooh Shiesty and them, and Moneybagg Yo is very serious. Now, Big 30 is very deep in the Memphis street scene. All right, he holds ties to two notorious gangs, the Chopper Gang, which you know from Pooh Shiesty, and KSBG. They're saying he tapped in with Grape Streets. And this is Big 30 with Newski and Gino, two members from those hoods that ended up passing away. Now, he's very deep in the streets. He's lost friends to the streets. And as he said, the beef's so real that you say the wrong thing in an interview and somebody could die. Now, he would break down the history and the real origins of how Chopper Gang started in another interview.
Go back and move with my mama. Live with my mama and what have you know what I'm saying? Why all my friends, that's where I want to be. So that's why I ended up with it. And he caught on.
So I think it was about here.
Like, I can't tell you who was the first person to say it. I don't know who the first person to say it or no shit like that. But since a nigga was a kid, like Shiesty, Tay G, you know what I'm saying? We were kids and shit, like Key Ray, you know, Lil Hank Clyde, nigga been just saying, before a nigga ever touch the chopper, nigga was saying chopper gun. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just talking, looking up to the older guys and shit. And we never wanted to be a follower. So that's how they went. But I can't tell you the first person said, we chopper gun. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. When did you meet Shiesty for the first time?
And I was like 11.
Shit. What created the friendship between you guys?
We both just like the same person, bro. We both just silly as hell. Play too much. We stand on the same morals. Like, that's my brother. Like, that's a real nigga. They don't make niggas like him no more.
So they was running the streets together since they were kids. They was chopper gang since kids, before they'd even known what a chopper was and seen a chopper, which is a assault rifle, pretty much. They said they was repping chopper gang. Now, let's jump all the way back to 2016. We'll understand a little bit of the beef behind the issues with Moneybagg Yo. So he's got ties to a crew called Young Mob, and he signed to Yo Gotti despite their camps previously being at war. And later, Moneybagg Yo actually ended up signing Big 30 and Big Nooski in 2019. So that's the backstory.
In 2016, when Yo Gotti was signed Moneybagg Yo, a Walker Homes native who has been alleged to once have quiet affiliations with the Young Mob, and after signing with Yo Gotti CMG imprint, Moneybagg Yo's trajectory would shift fast. In interviews, he would later refer to the past tension between his neighborhood and Gotti as petty, insisting his decision to join CMG was business. But in the streets, not everybody would see it that way. With Gotti behind him, Moneybagg Yo would push Bread Gang into the mainstream, building a roster and a brand under his wing. And one of the first artists to rise with him was Big 30, a up-and-coming street-certified Memphis talent and frequent Pooh Shiesty collaborator who had recently signed with Gucci Mane and helped form the Chopper Gang movement. And with 30 moving as a standout artist under Bread Gang, Big Nooski would come alongside him, a cousin who he would describe as a lifelong ally in interviews, and eventually a familiar face in the Bread Gang camp, with some people even referring to him as Bread Gang Nooski. But with momentum would come history and Moneybagg.
So things would ultimately end up getting complicated between these two sets, okay? Things apparently got tense when Moneybagg Yo collaborated with one of Young Mob's ops, and Stupid Duke, the alleged leader of Young Mob at that point, would declare war on Moneybagg Yo. Ooh, YouTube be bugging these days.
So what's really going on with you and Moneybagg?
Moneybagg crossed the line, you know, it's forever, he smoked for life. You know, he did a song with a dude, killed one of the homeboys. He got his face on the TV cover, all of them got his name tattooed on them. He just did some foul stuff that you can't never come back from. So, you know, it's smoke. It used to be Young Mom, and he did a song with a dude to kill Young Mom. So, you know, it's forever. This something ain't gonna never stop. This is Lewis.
So was he Young Ma from the beginning?
Yeah, he was Young Mom from the beginning. He got it tatted on him. Yeah, he Young Mom. He from the neighborhood originally.
Okay, so you and Boo Dirty.
So basically, they're saying that Moneybagg Yo collaborated with Young Mob's ops, somebody who was killing members of Young Mob, and basically they would declare war on Moneybagg Yo, and they would say the friendship, the connection is over with, okay? And this conflict would basically pull Big 30 and his cousin Big Nooski into the war, and they would have allegedly begin targeting Stupid Duke as a result.
At the time, CEO 30, a rising Memphis rapper affiliated with KSBG according to the feds, which allegedly stands for Kickback Gang, had signed to Moneybagg Yo, but then began to have a fallout with him too, caught between the streets, politics, and industry loyalty. What started as rap beef turned into real bloodshed. And this new, recently unsealed federal indictment, just 48 hours ago prior to me doing this video, it was confirmed that not long after the diss record, when Stupid Duke was released from jail, he was allegedly shot, with documents pointing fingers at someone from KSBG, the crew affiliated with CEO 30, which led to a full-blown war. Because in the streets of Memphis, retaliation isn't optional, it's a protocol. But according to this...
So this led to shootings by, you know, Big 30 set, BSBG would end up getting involved in the situation. It would be serious. My bad, that's KSBG. So obviously it says here Young Mob's principal rival was KSBG, associated with Bread Gang Entertainment, which is Moneybagg Yo's label. Now, things would escalate significantly on January the 22nd, 2022, and this is when Big Nooski was unfortunately shot and killed in Memphis, and this will be reported on by Fox 13 as a man shot to death in Whitehaven Apartments.
We're taking a live look from Whitehaven. Now, this is not the scene. You can see we've been pushed back from the perimeter, but police are on the scene of a shooting. Thank you for joining us tonight at 9. I'm Daryl Green. Merle Purvis is off tonight. Now, we begin with that breaking news. This is the 3700 block of Casaza Road. A man has been shot. Fox 13's Lakia Scott is there live. Lakia, what can you tell us? What have you found out?
That's right, Daryl. I am at the New Horizon River Apartments in the 3000 block of Casaza. Now, what we're being told is that police were dispatched here about an hour ago after getting a call about gunshots being fired in the area. Now, what we do know right now is that police are reporting that one male victim was shot here on this scene. Now, again, the victim did not survive his injuries. Now, we're here on the scene right now, but we cannot seem to get too close to the scene. As we walk up to the area, police they're turning us around when we try to get up to the area. You can hear the officer right now telling us that we can't come to the gate. What we're seeing are some cars back here behind the gate. Can't really see visually the vehicles, but we do see the flashing lights. There are no blue lights on the scene, but we do see white flashing lights. You see the officers right now telling us that we have to back up and back away from the scene. Now, what we're learning right
That don't look like no police officer, man. That's looking like he's rolling around with a shiesty and no badge. I don't know about that. But anyway, shortly after the shooting, Stupid Duke from Young Mob would actually reference what happened. So this is the intro of a song called Rewind with CEO Jizzle and Stupid Duke.
What happened? Little T, this some blood fighting on shit right now, Little T. Hold on. Yeah, Crip. No fuck, nigga. Alright, Crip. Yeah, we can't make this shit up, man. YMM, man, double up, man. Yeah. You found dead in your car, man. Murder me, you know.
They're saying you get found dead in your car, man. You know what happened over here. That's what they're saying.
All type of shit, murder, man, manipulation, everything. We with all this shit. We can't make this shit up, man. Don't try this shit at home. It might slip up. Well, young boy say don't try this shit at home. For real.
So they're saying they're really on that murder stuff. That's what they'd be really doing, okay? And it's kind of insulting the way that they're going about it. Now, Redditors would discuss the death of Big Newski and the allegations that he apparently had a whole bunch of bodies of his own, okay? Clearly was crippin', was clearly respected in the streets. And this is a post that I read previously. It said, Newski or Big Newski was a known member of KSBG and Bread Gang who lost his life to gun violence on January the 22nd, 2022 in Whitehaven. He was on 3723 Casaza Road, KSBG territory when he was shot, and he was pronounced dead at the scene at 26 years old. Allegedly, Young Mob killed him. He was the cousin of Rodney, Big 30 Right Jr. from KSBG, and was loved throughout Memphis, even being close with the rapper Demario Moneybagg Yo White Jr. Newski was a known shooter and had allegedly shot Brian Stupid Duke Lackland in the leg in the past. Newski and other KSBG members slid on Bunton Street and shot Jojo Splat and two other Trula Mafia members in retaliation for Jalen J. Muller Rhodes allegedly shooting Clay D in the face. Newski also shot Mo Mafia in the eye before Mo Mafia was killed, and there's also rumors that Newski allegedly shot Marcus and Double O. So he was allegedly very serious. Big 30 had done a post saying that he had basically had 8 bodies. He said he had damn near 9 bodies before he died, which I'm guessing is 8 bodies. He says so was Clay, this gang or that gang at the time, because as soon as Duke came home, it got sticky. Clearly, there was a very complicated beef going on over there. They're saying that ACE stands for KSBG. That's the set that Big 30's gang and them are part of. So in May 2022, just 4 months after Newski's death, Young Mob would allegedly target another member of Big 30's crew.
After Newski lost his life, the mob would strike back. May 28, 2022, a Young Mob member, Muhammad Samba, aka Ski, had exchanged messages with another Young Mob associate about the location of members of the rival KSBG gang affiliated with CEO 30 near the Southland Mall in Memphis, Tennessee. And on at about May 28, 2022, Samba and other Young Mob members shot and killed Jasper Strickland, also known as Cheese Dollar. May he rest in peace and love and condolences to his family. They also shot and injured a man that was only identified in the indictment as KC. Also, a man identified as JB was shot. Apparently, Jasper Strickland, KC, and JB were members of the rival KSBG gang. They shot 3 and 1 was killed. They were seated in a car at a McDonald's restaurant in Memphis, Tennessee, near the Southland Mall. On May 28, 2022, Young Mob members and associates had burned a stolen silver 2011 Infiniti M37 in Memphis, Tennessee that had been used in the murder of Jasper Strickland. Apparently, on the 13th, about 2 weeks.
So a couple of years after this, Big 30 would actually open up about some of the situations going on in the street in a long Facebook post. It says, who the F said they gonna die about that lame ass stuff? That doesn't even sound like me, truth be told. N-word recruited my dude for protection. Shall hope ye never thought my dude had superpowers. He couldn't do it by himself, fool ass dude. You came to our hood for the muscle because them folks started putting pressure on his ass, extortion only. He's still paying dudes to this day to stay off his ass. How the F you Nooski living and you ain't do shit Nooski do. Ain't tried to lift a pinky. I wore a bread gang chain because I was signed to you. So he's basically dissing Moneybagg Yo and addressing the situation between them and how their crews ended up falling out over street stuff. So he's still addressing Moneybagg Yo. He says, you begged for a big brr chain. Shiesty said himself, negative. It's only two of us. Dude is a bozo. And the shit was dead. And please tell these folks when we ever talked face to face and I ain't have mines on me. Or, you know how we moving, we brought life to that shit, made the city respect you, my dude died for that lame ass shit, and you ain't even come to the funeral. So he's talking about Nooski, saying Moneybagg Yo ain't come to the Nooski funeral. He's saying we died for your beef. And he said, you posted a car, I was in one, and it's a big difference between me and you. Ask anybody, I had 150K in my backpack ready to spend whatever to put my dude away nice and make sure he's straight. You called my phone begging to let you pay for the funeral, knowing you ain't have a first or a second thought on coming, talking about after Shiesty got locked up. I laid down, nah, I was on some more shit at the time. After my dude died, I couldn't stay in rap mode like you done played now. I got to really flush you. So he's basically saying after Nooski died, he wasn't in the mood to make no music. He's talking about you want to be on some rap stuff. He's saying, I ain't trying to rap. I'm trying to spin. I'm in the streets with it. And you ain't do nothing. You didn't even come to Nooski's funeral. So that was very disrespectful. And Big 30 after this would reveal that he would officially no longer be signed to Moneybagg Yo's Bread Gang label. I hope he didn't do him like Gucci with a contract though.
To be this guy. You see, he's a perfect example of how a limited mindset can create.
Wait a minute.
Right? Is this?
No, I'm still signed.
Now you're independent now, right? Is this?
No, I'm still signed. I'm signed to Endless Entertainment.
Okay, so you are still signed.
Yeah.
See, you said you was independent. You said you wasn't signed.
No, I never told you that. You
okay. Oh no, you just not signed to Moneybagg Yo anymore.
Yeah.
How did you get out of that deal?
Oh man, shit. How you motherfucker pay the money, sign the contract?
Okay.
Hey, I wonder if he got it back in blood, man. I wonder if he got it. Maybe this is how they deal with contracts over there.
So you paid to get out of it?
Yeah, it got paid. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So how does it feel now? Like not having that situation? Because sometimes like a cosign, you know, like we were just talking about, that's a big deal. But also trying to get out of the situation is like, can be very stressful.
Yeah, I mean, I feel good. Shit, I'm straight. I'm good. I'm dropping. You know what I'm saying? Like, my music's back going up. My fans happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a happy space right now. I'm good.
So you're happy.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Still doing what you love to do.
Yeah,
and
you happy.
doing it the way.
So Redditors would be discussing this beef between them in detail and kind of breaking down some of the history. They're saying Moneybagg Yo, the most shake-ass rapper, hiring Nooski and Big 30 for protection, getting extorted by Duke. Then when 30's dudes get killed, he doesn't even give a F. Then dudes get in his face and stomach. Then dude gets his face and stomach did. Like, what? They're saying he basically got lipo or whatever. Said doing songs with his Eskimo brother G Herbo, effing his sloppy seconds, City know he a hoe for sure, and he took finesse raps, LMAO. So they're hating on Moneybagg Yo. People saying, duh, Bag was never no gangster type of dude. He was just a dude that wanted to be fly and rap, and he used to F fat hoes when he was literally not one of them ones before rap. They're saying, so why put an image down the line that's faking a lifestyle? That shit's corny, especially if you're over 27. They're saying, man is a good rapping ass dude. Saying, true, homane, it's just is what it is. People type like they're from Memphis on here too, talking about music. He ain't with the smoke for real. He was paying the mob after they killed Nooski and Cheese because he was scared. They're saying Bag ain't signed dudes for protection, no P. The internet narrative crazy. Then YNs jumped in the 12 foot. That's it. Bag a hoe for going against the grain though. They're saying, why doesn't anyone do nothing to him? They're saying, why would they let something happen to the dude they extorting? Come on, bro, think. They're saying, before he was rapping, before he made it big, they got pics of him on the net as just one of the people in the background. You make it seem like he's 6'9", and even his homies robbed him. But basically, look, Moneybagg Yo is kind of intertwined with this beef. It is very complicated, and I think Pooh Shiesty and Big 30 are in big trouble. Okay, this isn't what they're being indicted for, but this just goes to show you how complicated the Memphis rap scene was getting at a certain point. So let me know what you thought of that breakdown. I'm digging into the Pooh Shiesty, Big 30 whole Memphis scene even deeper than I ever have before right now, and I will update you guys when I got some more information on that. So for now, I'm out.